had an interesting Wednesday night dash this week. Had an interesting behind closed doors. Not so great news to report if you've ever used the trading paints application, in iRacing. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Ryan Preece had a scary evening in Daytona. Brad Keselowski was driving in circles, and not on the track. He was driving in a little circle, and much more. This is FR Racing's Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook.
I'm Erik Richardson.
And be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button. That helps us out a lot. So I made it into behind closed doors at Chicagoland this week and totally botched a green flag pit stop. I came in way too hot and then I locked it. And, there's that little there's that concrete between the apron of the track and the pit entrance, and I managed to kind of set myself right there and kind of loop back around and go into the pits. And I think I lost a good 15 seconds on that moment right there, and that kind of put me in a spot. But Derek bailed me out with his spinning coming off of pit road, and then we had a wreck caused by you.
Yeah, as just a big racing incident.
Yeah, there was nothing.
I had such a huge run. I'd try to get out of it. We were almost going 3 wide at that point, and the track's not super wide.
No, and it kind of explains why they don't really race those kind of tracks anymore in IndyCar, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I lost my front wing. I got into the back of Brian, and then he spun, caught Derek, and that was the second caution right there.
I need to. I finished 0.4 of a second back of the win, but my night was far worse than that. And it started with, I was a little bit off the pace, as I frequently am. I had my pit stop incident, and then I got bailed out by the cautions that kept it close. And, it's I can hold on for 4 laps to the end, especially I went in on that last pit stop or that last caution, got some new tires, and because tire management was not good for me.
Yeah, we were 18 to go and that caution comes out. I was really hoping it was very much a fuel strategy race.
Mark and I were actually kind of hanging out together, and we were just kind of taking turns being in front. And we're just, I mapped it out to, I think I was on 4. Joe, who joined the league,
3.
Yeah, I think he said he went to 5, was 5.
Yeah, in that first stint, I was sitting behind the 3 other cars, and I was in map 3. I was just riding along. I think got to 54 or 55 laps.
I didn't
knew it was going to be good.
I didn't think of that. I tried to get as close as I could to 50, and I think I got to 46 or 47 just running the normal full out map 1. And then on the second time around, I'm already so far behind, and I was crossing my fingers, and I'm coming off the throttle on, in running, 5th gear, coming off the throttle, running half throttle. And I'm just watching my calculator. I'm like, come on, I need another half lap here. And then Derek goes and spins out.
I was leading on that caution, and, I maybe made a bad decision. I stayed out. I was hoping everybody else would too. There wasn't really a lot of tire fall off.
I had to stay out because I needed to get my lap back. Otherwise, I probably would have went for a quick stop. But then I got the second caution to bail me out yet again.
Yeah, and everybody else pit, and I'm like, oh man, I got to pit now. I knew I had to at least battle on fresh tires, and then caught that wing. I think that ended up going green with 4 laps to go.
Yeah, we had a 4-lap shootout at the end.
That was a lot of fun.
It was good. We've got a lot of fun going on. And then tonight on Wednesday, we had basically at the end, we had 2 groups. So we had the lead group, and in the back it was Ian, Jesse, and myself, who got separated because Jesse bumped the wall a couple times. Ian had a couple of squirrely moments, and we kind of fell behind, and we formed our own little pack of 3. we're about 4 seconds off the lead. And the last, like, I don't know, 15 laps or so, just banging the crap out of each other the whole time. I'd pass Jesse, I'd move up, and I'm starting to make my move on Ian. Then all of a sudden, here comes Jesse again and goes right by me. And then the two of them are fighting on the last lap, and I made a mistake. I got into that lower groove too low and lost all my speed coming out of one, and I couldn't catch them.
Yeah, top 7 were all, I think, within 1.7 seconds. At like lap 48, 49, we're going 3 wide for second. It was something.
It's good. I mean, like, the quality of this is getting much better. And that just shows, like, I think obviously people are getting better skill wise the more they work on this. But the other thing too is, like, a lot of us have raced together now for well over a year. You look at Mark, you look at Justin, you look at Erik, and the two of us. We were part of that original group.
Yep.
And then Colton came along, Hunter came along. Hunter's in the booth now, but Hunter came along. It's like Tyler came along, Caden came along. It's just like, we've been building this pack together, and it's like, yeah, there's 15 of us or something like that, 14 of us, and people miss here and there, so we've not had a full house race yet. It is what it is. That's life. That's part of the reason why we formed this league, is because a lot of these leagues have such a strict attendance policy that you miss races, you're out. And it's just like, we're here to have some fun. And I think that's what's happening. We're having fun. We're broadcasting it. I think for the most part, people are having a good time. And if they are, they haven't complained to me. They haven't complained to me. I mean, we've had a few complaints here and there, but nothing horrible. And we've made some adjustments. Yeah.
No, I really wish we could broadcast our behind closed doors series.
I know. I just,
the racing there too is just insane.
I sent you the quarterlies for Motorsport games, and let's see here. Let's see if I can pull this up. So they lost the NASCAR license, which is probably the final nail in the coffin for Motorsport games. Their revenues Q2 2022 were 2.008 million. Revenue Q2 for 2023, 1.739 million, dropped by 13.4%. Gross profit dropped from 1.15 million to 872,000, a drop of 24% from year to year. The only thing that went up was operating expenses, the wrong number that should go up. They went from 7.83 million in 2022 up to 9.48 million in 2023, and lost the NASCAR license. Ouch.
How do you spend that much in operation and don't even bring in 25% of that in your revenue?
Like, they didn't put anything out. Like what did you do during that time?
I made that joke earlier. What are they doing? Running some sort of money scheme?
Yeah. Net loss attributable to Motorsport Games Inc., which I don't know what that, I mean, I'm guessing some parent company. That went from 7.405 million to 8.17 million, an increase in loss by 10.3%. Your adjusted EBITDA went from minus 5.95 million to 2.689 million. But I think they got a 2 million cash from some kind of investment, or somebody pumps some cash in, because I think otherwise, without that extra cash, they would not have the funds to finish out the year. Like, they would literally run out of money.
So how long does IndyCar give this? Like,
well, that's the other crazy thing is I sent you a statement from the earnings, and it says, as the company continues to address its liquidity constraints, it has reevaluated its product roadmap in the second quarter of 2023 and modified the expected timing and scope of certain new product releases, including the release of any future NASCAR games, which have been put on hold indefinitely. They lost the license. We know this. It's public now. Further, the company is evaluating its ability to deliver new titles under its license, such as IndyCar and the British Touring Car Championship, the BTCC, which may result in further adjustments to the company's product roadmap. That was a word salad for starters.
We're not doing anything.
But yes, that's
than taking
that sentence to me translates to we may not even ever finish this game. The IndyCar game.
Sorry, did you say that?
No, I didn't.
Apple.
Yeah. So the IndyCar game, there's been some rumors, and I don't know, maybe they've been confirmed, but it's going to have like a single player, it's going to have an online mode, and it's going to have like a time trial mode. There's no like career mode or anything like that. All we've seen so far is a partial screenshot of a car. Like, one of two things is going to happen is this game never sees the light of day, or it will see the light of day, and it's going to be absolutely abysmal. So, what do you think? Does this game ever get released officially?
I don't know.
I
don't see it. But if it does, it's not going to be anything. If it's more than a free game, it's not worth it.
No, it's going to be trash. If they release anything, it's going to be trash. I think that's pretty safe to say.
I would venture it's probably going to be like the Indy 500 game that was on DOS.
No, because that actually got released.
Oh, right. And it was actually a lot of fun to play.
So I have this game for the Nintendo Wii. It was called like Indy 500 Legends. Man, that game sucked. Oh, it was like you used like older style Indy cars in it from like the 1960s and stuff, and you're like, hey, that could be pretty fun. And no, it's like it's terrible. It was really awful. IndyCar has not had a good track record of good games, maybe ever. I mean, is there an IndyCar game that stands out to you that was decent at all?
Nope.
I remember there's one like 2005 for the original Xbox, 2005-ish. And I remember being like, I was really excited to buy it. And then I'm like, this is...
The only one I remember playing was the one on DOS.
Honestly,
I've actually played another IndyCar game until iRacing.
Honestly, Kart had better games. There were two games that were released when Kart was around. And the first one was a PC game called Kart Precision Racing, which was, you look at it, it's like, oh my God, that looks awful. But got to remember, this is like 1997 or something like that. And then there was like a Kart World Series that was released for the original PlayStation. 99 maybe. It would have been 98 or 99 because Greg Moore died in 98, I think. Is it 98?
Yeah, sounds right.
But he's still in the game. So
with 1998 though, I was playing
NASCAR 98. NASCAR. Yeah.
Listening to Molly Hatchet every other race.
Yes, that song was stuck in my head for many, many years because of that. 1999 is when Greg Moore died. And that awful accident at Auto Club, the California Speedway back then.
That's a shame. That was one of my favorite drivers.
Oh, he was gonna be something. Like wasn't he gonna move to like Ganassi the next year or something like that, where it's just like, hey, this guy's like, getting his real shot here.
And it's using the 99 Players car.
Yep. I didn't know what Players was for the longest time. Do you know?
I've forgotten that.
I'll give you a hint. There's a reason why it's not allowed to be on a car anymore.
I'm sure it's something fun.
It is.
Oh, what is it?
It's a cigarette company.
Yep.
You had Players, you had Marlboro, you had Cool.
Those Marlboro cars were cool.
Yeah, they were. The cool cars were cool. Remember the green and white cool cars back in the day?
Oh, yeah. Paul Tracy rocking that one.
I mean, and then you had the Winston Cup for 30 years. Like, yes, it's like, obviously we know cigarettes are bad for you. Like, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes, but like, cigarettes are the only reason NASCAR is still around today, because of the amount of money Winston pumped into NASCAR. NASCAR is only a national series because of the amount of money that Winston pumped into them. And the other companies had amazing looking cars. The blue players car from CART, that light blue, that baby blue color, amazing.
So good.
It's funny looking back and like watching races from the 90s, and you see these cars where that like the company is no longer there because of scandal or bankruptcy, and you just, I don't think there was ever like an Enron car or anything like that, but you see
there was Enron Field.
Yes, there was Enron Field. And the one that I'm bummed about is that Target left. This Ganassi had those Target cars. I mean, I'm gonna go get the prop.
Yeah, those were some good looking cars, and they always had great drivers in them. See, Dario Franchitti was in there.
Yeah.
Scott Dixon had a Target car.
So this is a CART car. Like it says the CART World Series on it. This was a Jimmy Vasser, I believe, and Alex Zanardi also drove the other one back then. Or Bo Brandenburg, if you're a fan, maybe driven. Throwbacks last week's show. Didn't
Kyle Larson drive the Target car at the Phoenix race we were at?
He did, yeah. That was like one of the last year's Target was involved with Ganassi. Ganassi still owned the team, the 41 and the 42 back then.
Yep.
We had Juan Pablo Montoya destroying the jet dryer. That's the most memorable the most memorable thing the 42 car has done on a track in the last 10 years. Now, the driver, on the other hand, has had some memorable things in the 42 car for not so good reasons, but we're not going to get into that. 2 driver sections. Anyway, but yeah, those cars in the 90s, MCI, that was one of the I think like Max Pappas had an MCI car that looked really good. Vistion was another one. Vistion was a parts supplier for Ford that went bankrupt in the collapse of 2008. Delphi, another, they were the parts supplier for GM.
I like that car.
Yeah, Scott Sharp drove one of the Delphi cars that looked really, really good. You see all these companies that come and go, and it's just like, looking over here on my wall, it's not so bad. Most of those cars are still there. Like Cartoon Network sponsored, a couple drivers. Jeff Green was, I think, the more recent of them.
And Jimmy Spencer was in that car too at one point.
Yeah, he had the yellow one, I think. And Robert Presley was the other one who drove the purple one. It was like the first one. I guess my collection's not too bad. The only car in there that the company's basically gone. Oh, yeah, okay, Circuit City. So I've got 2 Hut Strickland Circuit City cars from the 90s. They're gone. Well, sort of.
I had to get those.
Those cars. I worked there, yes, but those cars were awesome, especially the red one. The red one was sick. And then I have a Kmart Jeremy Mayfield, and we know Kmart is there's no Kmarts left in the United States. You know that? The last one closed.
Yeah, one of the last ones was actually just down the road from me. While they were still open, I stopped in just to be like, I'm in a Kmart.
Yeah. The last Kmart in the United States was in New Jersey, and they are closed. Either they're closed or they're closing in the next couple of weeks. RIP Kmart. Bad business decisions with Sears. Kmart bought Sears, and that was just a mess. And yet somehow Craftsman gets out of there. They get bought by I think Black and Decker, and now we got the Craftsman Truck Series back. So it's like not all is lost there.
I still like the Sears story from high school.
Oh no, I know which one you're talking. Yeah, the one where my car was mummified while I was working one night. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then managers bring you out and you're like, do you want to press charges?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I'm going to make you guys pay. Yes, I want them all hauled away.
It was so funny driving by later and just seeing the pile of it in the parking lot.
Yeah. Oh, I went out there and I just ripped it off. I was so mad. I ripped it off and I just threw it on the ground and just left it there in the middle of the parking lot. I was like, caution tape, toilet paper, saran wrap, shaving
Yeah.
cream. And I drove home, I had like shaving cream all over my I pull in and my parents like, what happened? I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
So long story short, we're in high school. A bunch of us, we knew DJ was working. So we go to the parking lot of Sears, which is at a mall. And we're out there saran wrapping and caution taping the car. Then we left and moved cars and just did you know we were hanging out? We saw you come out.
Yeah, I know. You were hiding over by the Best Buy.
Yeah, we were just hanging out watching and we seen him come
Yeah,
out.
I saw you guys when I walked out. I walked out and I was just like, I knew exactly who did it. One, I just walked down like, you sons of.
Oh, high school hijinks. So much fun.
Yeah. That got me pretty good that night. But
I have pictures of it still.
yeah, that car was a piece of trash. That car so much. I tried to kill it so many times and it just would not die.
Yeah, we were just trying to help you out.
That wasn't going to help it out.
No, it was fun though.
Yeah, like the one day I thought like the car started smoking when I was driving. I was like, yes, it's dying finally. And then like we take it in and the guy's like, yeah, like the little hose that connects this exhaust thing broke and it's like a $10 fix. I'm like,
And statute of limitations is complete now, right? Nobody's going to listen to this and be like, "Oh, we can press charges against you for vandalism."
well, I mean, I would be the one to have to press it, but yes, I think the statute of limitations is over. Considering that none of us live in the same, in that town anymore, and frankly, I'm not sure that they would, I walk into the police. Yeah, I want to press vandalism charges on something that happened, what year?
20 years ago.
20 plus years ago now.
Actually, it would have been fall 2002.
Yeah, it would have been 20 years ago.
We're old.
Yeah. I'm just like, whatever. Life goes on.
Yeah, welcome to come up here and do that to my car. I'll laugh.
I'm good. I'm done with those that era of my life of pranking people's cars. And see, the other thing too is I would never do that living here because the odds, like if I went and did that to somebody, there's a pretty good chance I would get shot. Like shot while doing it. And didn't really think about that 20 years ago. It's like, hey, this person might come out here and pull a gun on you. Like,
I gotta be prepared though. I coach college team. You never know what those college kids are up to.
Oh, and yeah. I mean, you live far enough from the campus. Do they would they go that? I mean,
if they really wanted to do something and have fun, I think they would.
Yeah, and what do I honestly, like if they did that to you, you should just stand in the front window and just like,
oh, I'd just watch and let them and then be like, hey guys, what did you do last night? Did you have fun?
Hey, you know what?
I got a special practice for you.
Yeah, we got a special practice that starts at 2:30 a.m.
Oh, I'm sure I would come up with something that they'd get payback. It'd be fun. And they'd laugh.
Right. You keep swimming and you don't stop until you vomit.
Oh, now though, that'd be like,
oh yeah, that'd be like hazing.
Yeah, we won't do that. I won't go that far.
Yeah, it's like
coaches that do that don't deserve to be coaching.
No. I mean, there's clips that come out all the time of these coaches, and you find out that they're like doing some pretty awful. They're basically turning their back and letting like seniors do some really, really awful and illegal things to like freshmen is hazing. It's like,
no. There's a line between coaching hard and teaching life lessons and just doing that stuff
and just being a criminal. Oh man, that took a weird turn.
Derailed. Formula One.
Oh no, we gotta. I want to take it. Want to keep down this road of despair. So trading paints.
Okay.
Trading paints. So trading paints, for those who aren't familiar, on the iRacing platform, the paint shop that they give you is pretty, we'll say, limited on what you can do. You can download a template and you can take it into Photoshop or one of the many alternatives to Photoshop, and you have to have some basic graphic design skills to do that. So Trading Paints was set up years ago as like a showroom exchange for people that they design cars, they upload them, they can share them. You can download them, put them into your car profile, and that's how we have these these cool personalized cars that people drive every week. They have a paint builder that you pay like $25 a year for, something like that. So if you don't have graphic design abilities, it has a nice little builder in there. You can upload images, you drag them, you size them, you rotate them, and you can use patterns and build off it. You could get a really nice looking car in about 10 minutes, with all your sponsor logos placed, and they have it all like outlined that, you fit it perfectly so it lines up nicely. They got hacked. Not much is known about it yet. Other than a security researcher who, I think he was sounds like he's a security researcher from the lingo he was using, found a database of 270,000 usernames and passwords for Trading Paints, which sounds like everyone, for sale on the dark web. So somebody got the database, and then to add to the matters, the passwords, let's just say, for the people that aren't familiar with encryption and security, let's just say it was the first step of encryption. You put passwords in a database, you put the plain value, you go in that database, you can see everybody's password. There's next level is some basic encryption that scrambles and it makes it into this big long code. Problem is that 15 years ago, hackers figured out how to break that you could take that code, paste it into, like, you could go find something on the internet, paste that code in there. Whoop, now the password, more than likely, or something very, very close to the password. So there wasn't much in the way of encryption on the passwords. So somebody is not going to have to do a lot of effort to break through 270,000 usernames and passwords. And people are lazy and use the same username and password for their banking, for their credit cards. Not good. Moral of the story is, one, don't use the same password for everything, because if somebody's, breaches happen all the time. Somebody gets, even what you'd think are secure places get breached. They got your password, you use that for everything, you're screwed. I mean, I get it all the time. Like, have you ever had this before where you get an email saying, hey, did you request a password reset for Facebook?
I don't think I have, actually.
It happened to me about 2 weeks ago. I got a password email that somebody, probably a hacker, who got my credentials from one of the many breaches that there's sites you could sign up for that you can be notified when there's a potential breach on a site. And but your password probably gets stolen 100 times a year, if at least. Like, it happens a lot, way more than you realize.
Maybe whoever steals it can help me remember what my passwords are, so I don't always have to reset them.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
That'd help me.
Yes. So then, like, then they'll go and they'll try to log into your social media, or they'll try to log into, and then they'll fail. In my case, I use a different password for everything. Your face, like you should. And they try to log in with their stolen credentials, doesn't work. And then they do a password reset on you. And then they try to go to your email, making an assumption that your email, well, they have your email more than likely from the stolen credentials. So then they go to your Gmail, your iCloud, or I don't know who else, Yahoo, Hotmail, whatever. And then they try to log in with that password to get in and reset your Facebook account, and then get into your Facebook and start scamming people on social media. And it just becomes this endless circle if you're lazy with your passwords. So long story short, don't use passwords for the same password for everything. You don't really need, they used to say change your passwords often. Not really necessary as much as it used to be. Just a lot of effort for nothing, to be honest with you. Just use essentially a disposable password. don't use names or pets or something stupid like that people can guess. Anyway, that was my IT security rant for the day. I've been testing this IR Sidekick. That's an alternative to trading paints. It works pretty well. It has like a nice little interface that you can see what everybody's cars look like as you're going into the session. And you just kind of click between.
Does it run off screen?
Cool. Yes, it does. Yeah, it runs minimized, but you can open the interface up and look at it, and you can get information about your session, which is pretty cool. It's free. The only thing that it doesn't do that I can tell is when you want to load your paint into it, you have to do the manual method of dropping it into the folder, or Trading Paints had the ability where you just uses my paint and it pushed it right into the folder for you. You didn't have to mess with that. So it's one little downfall, but I uninstalled Trading Paints as a precaution because they haven't really said much. They acknowledge that they would notify that there might be a potential breach. They're investigating it. They haven't said a word since. We don't know if malware was infected into the downloader. You push an update for Trading Paints with malware. Now your computer's infected. So, it's just advised, just delete the software until you can confirm that it's safe, or they can come out and confirm that the software is safe and not tampered with. Just be careful.
Yeah, don't lose your computer over it.
All the antivirus and anti-malware and anti-spam doesn't matter if you inadvertently leave that back door unlocked. Man, these scams are getting very sophisticated.
They really are.
You have to think. Like, you get these emails coming in, it's like, oh, cool, 20% off coupon at whatever store you shop at. And you're like, nope, no, it isn't.
I pretty much delete all those things when they come in. I rarely look at them.
Yeah, I got this. I'm getting these spam emails that are like, you need to log into your Coinbase account. Someone's taking money out of your Coinbase account. I'm like, really? I don't have a Coinbase account, so that's not.
I do get the emails of like, your package is being delivered. Like, no, it's not.
No, it's not. Or the other one is, thank you, McAfee customer. You'll be charged $367 for your year of service. Please call this number, and you get connected to a guy in India who's going to steal money out of your bank account. Yeah, don't do that. The refund scams. You can usually tell it's a scam because the sentence is not in, like, there's so many grammatical errors in the sentence and misspellings. It's like, if this was actually McAfee, one, the email that it's coming from is not McAfee. And two, if it looks like a second grader who's just learning how to, read and write, competent sentences wrote it, it's probably not legit.
Yeah, check your grammar.
That's right. Pay attention. You got to just be on your toes. Problem is that too many times things can get stolen, and it's not your fault because companies don't secure your data. They don't secure your credit cards. I had my credit card stolen at Thanksgiving one year. I don't know how they got it, but there was a breach somewhere, but I never heard anything.
It's crazy.
I mean, number one, you can't store credit cards locally. Like, you need to use a service like PayPal, or or go through Stripe, or what's the one that all the cool kids are using now?
What, Venmo? Or
Venmo, thank you. Which is also owned by PayPal, by the way.
I guess the other one's Cash App.
Yeah, Cash App. But yeah, just be careful. That's your lesson for the day. So anyway, racing. Formula One.
That was wild.
George Russell has a puncture. Finishes like 18th or something like that.
Yeah, he retired.
Did you see Max got his trophy back that Lando broke?
Oh, I hadn't seen that yet.
Yeah, he got his trophy back. And Lando was there with them when they gave the trophy to Max, and Max is like looking at it, and they hand Lando an envelope that says invoice for trophy repair, Lando Norris, McLaren. Oh man, good
That's
sense
funny.
of humor though.
Yeah, Max wins again, record tying ninth. Let's
Ninth
see
in a
if he
row.
can go for 10.
What, Monza next?
I believe so. No, was it Alfa Romeo was driving a special livery for that one? Looks pretty cool.
Ferrari's driving a special one coming up here too. I saw. Doesn't matter because they're gonna find a way to screw it up as they frequently do, where they go out for a pit stop and have no tires with them.
Yeah, at least Leclerc wasn't mad after, because it was a last second decision he made that they were still prepped for when he pulled into the box and took the tires off and then realized
Oh
we
yeah,
have
we got
no
we got
tires.
Monza this weekend, and then we got Singapore. Yeah, Singapore is like a 5 a.m. race. So Japan though, that's a late race. That's one of those Saturday night, like middle of the night races.
Oh,
We got to do a live
that's
for
right.
that. We got to do a live for that.
I have to figure out TV to watch. I don't have a TV here with the computer.
You got a tablet?
Maybe I have a laptop.
I
can figure something out.
gotta open up Chrome and you use Hulu.
So I feel like maybe there could be confirmation that Red Bull is trying to actively sabotage Checo.
Does kind of feel that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, especially when Perez is leading. Yet they pit Max first to undercut a teammate who is leading the race.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even Checo comes on like, what just happened?
Are they like doing this to, because I don't think he would get so frustrated that he would want out of his contract. But at the same time, it's like, are they using it to like, oh, you underperformed. You had the best machine out there and you barely podiumed half the time. And use it as a way to justify not bringing him back.
I think so.
But
the more each race goes by, you can't tell me that the two Red Bull machines are this vastly different.
They're not.
Because that's the only car that can challenge
not
Verstappen unless something breaks.
Yes, they're not deliberately that much different. It's just you got to feel for the guy, and the thing too is like they're talking about like, oh, who are they gonna replace him with? It's like who can they get that is better than Checo? Is Checo the second best driver out there? No, absolutely not. But who are they going to get that they have a reasonable chance of pulling him away from their current team that is better than Checo right now?
I think the wild card, I've said it before, is Alex Palou.
But would they chance that second Red Bull seat on someone who's never done more than reserve driving?
I think they chance it to be second in the points. It protects Verstappen, lets him be the best. They can still get a well-qualified driver that can be second in the points.
But as Palou damaged himself with how he's handled the last 2 years with his contract and getting mad at Ganassi last year, then making McLaren mad this year.
I think it all depends on what and how that actually plays out.
Is that baggage worth it? I guess is the question. Because there's been plenty of talented drivers over the years that have had so much baggage with them that it's like, is it really?
I think it's too early to tell. If Palou figured out that Norris and Piastri aren't leaving, maybe he was hoping Norris would leave or Piastri would go into that Red Bull seat.
I mean, there was up until recently, it was Piastri's been awful. But he's picked it up. Like, I
Yeah,
think his seat's
McLaren
probably
is
safe.
coming alive.
Lando is under contract for a couple more years. So,
He doesn't want to leave.
yeah, I don't think he wants to leave either. I think he's happy where he's at. I think he wants to win a race with McLaren, and I think he's.
They're getting closer. I think
But
Palou got wind that McLaren wasn't going to have a seat. He doesn't want to be the reserve driver. He wants to go to F1.
yep,
So unless he knows something, which he might,
I still think it's more likely you see him in the AlphaTauri.
that'd be hard to leave IndyCar to go to AlphaTauri
But
unless it's
they're getting the RB19 next year, though.
yep, it's RB Junior.
Yeah, like they're going to be much better next year. As long as they don't grossly mismanage everything.
And you make improvements over the summer, you're gonna have a top 10 car.
Yeah, I mean it doesn't. It's not the punchline. The Alpha, I mean, it's whatever it's going to be called next year. But AlphaTauri right now, it's not. Next year is not going to be the punchline that it is now. And poor Daniel Ricciardo, that guy can't catch a break. I mean, like
breaks his hand.
That was the wrong term to use. I regretted saying that immediately after I said it. Poor man, broke his hand. That was a weird crash too.
It really is. It's such a weird turn. Also,
I mean, you're looking at it from the top of the car perspective, and it just looks like he just kind of veers off and hits the wall trying to. I would like to see what his helmet cam, what he was looking at. He must have seen the crash. I don't think I saw a helmet cam clip.
Who was it? Logan Sargent crashed there, or was it somebody else?
I thought it was Piastri, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Somebody else crashed, and he saw it, went to avoid it.
Yeah, it was Piastri. Yeah. They're saying, "Oh man, that's like Australia corner right there." That's.
It looks like he didn't get his hand off the wheel and just cranked it.
Yeah. And then Logan Sargent's car, he crashes, but his car, they said, broke before he crashed. It wasn't his fault, but he's on thin ice as it is with Williams. I mean,
It's unfortunate.
Both Williams make Q3 for the first time since 2017. It's I mean, they're making some really good strides this year. I mean, Alex Albon is
Albon's driving great.
I don't think he would ever go back to Red Bull after I'm seeing this pattern of how things ended there.
Well, Checo's the longest driver to be teammates with Max.
Max is he's got kind of a reputation going of teammate killer. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what you do, because it's like, they want,
I think Palou goes to Red Bull 2, or I think you're right, AlphaTauri, which is
Could you imagine if, like, I mean, Lewis Hamilton is not under contract for next year. I don't think he leaves Mercedes, but could you imagine if you got Red Bull next year of Lewis and Max on the same team? I mean, I would see that as like, it's like when Hulk Hogan, formed the NWO, and like everybody like turned on Hulk Hogan when he became Hollywood Hogan. And that's like how I envision Lewis Hamilton going, if you would ever join Red Bull, and it'd be like him and Max, like, oh man, dude.
Could be a lot more drama.
Oh, that team might self-destruct if that happens, because Lewis obviously has his legacy. He's been in declining, we'll say declining equipment over the last couple of years, after having so many years of nobody being able to touch him, against the guy that nobody can touch right now.
I like how he had that run and now he complains about Red Bull. It's like, you had this exact same thing.
Yeah, you were, I love Lewis to death, but it's like, dude, you were like, nobody could touch you for like 7 years. Like, give it a rest. But could you imagine a Red Bull team next year of Max and Lewis?
That'd be hilarious, actually.
Like, they would be 1-2 every week if they don't have a mechanical failure or a crash or something like that.
Unless they sabotage this car.
Or yeah, I mean that I don't know. I kind of part of me kind of wishes that happens because I'm here for the drama. I pop the popcorn. Let's see the two of them fight it out. You got the legend in his final years against the guy who's still really young and just nobody can touch him. That would be some major drama.
Oh yeah. On another side note, Ferrari let Carlos Sainz pass the clear.
They did. Yeah.
I was watching like he's like, "Can I pass? I have more pace." And I'm like, "Yes." I'm like, wow, that's a first.
Yeah. Well, did I send you the more accurate Formula One intro where they modified the music and for the drivers and it
I
was
don't think so.
I'll send it to you. It's hilarious. And yeah, it starts it's like Logan Sargent, he's standing there and you hear the Star Spangled Banner in the background and cuts to Carlos Sainz and smooth operator. But then again,
I haven't seen that. You gotta send that to
yeah,
me.
and then the best part, I'm not gonna ruin it for you, is when they get to Charles and it's like, oh man.
Yeah, I'll have to. I need to watch that.
When we're done because it is hilarious. Like, oh man.
So yeah, that's Formula One in a nutshell. It's
And
maybe drama central.
IndyCar Gateway, David Malukas, podiums 2 years in a row.
I didn't get to watch that race.
Scott Dixon,
great.
Scott Dixon, man, I don't know what he's done to his fuel mileage, but man, he was on a whole different level. Like, I think
always makes fuel.
I don't know what he does. Like, he's a master at fuel races, like fuel mileage races. There were only 3 cars in the lead lap. And I mean, he was so far ahead of second place, he could have probably walked the final lap and still
didn't he win by 22 seconds?
Yeah, it was like 22 seconds. You know, it was can't even remember who finished second. Malukas finished third.
Pato
Award. Yeah. Pato Award was second. And then everybody else was at least a lap down. I mean, it was just it was a textbook fuel mileage lecture by the professor himself. And
that's why he is the Iceman.
And yeah, so Malukas, the difference between him last year versus this year, it's far less drama in his podium this year. But this year they could actually give him champagne. He's 21 now.
Oh, McLaughlin wasn't too happy with Malukas, even
though
he really
there was
tried to drive down on him.
And the thing is, there was that whole like beef with the Bus Bros and like making fun of Malukas and him posted pictures of Malukas, him and his girlfriend or something on social media, and yeah, they're making fun of him, and he's like, "Oh, I'll get you back on the track," and you know, and then that happened, and then like, there's somebody tweeted at him, McLaughlin, "Is there beef between the two of you?" You know, and he just replied back, "Beef," and it's like, are they serious? Like Malukas said, he was like joking up until this point, but is McLaughlin actually like mad or? I don't know. It's weird, but there was nothing
David,
wrong with the move.
If you listen, we'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, we'd love to have you on the show. Don't know where he's going next year either. He's he's a lot of fun. And sound like he was on the verge of signing for Ed Carpenter as we talked about last week, but then something else apparently,
maybe came up.
I'm not sure that would have been a
and
would
Ed
signing
Carpenter,
for Ed Carpenter really be
he didn't make any friends either on Sunday.
No, he didn't. He caused a wreck turn one, lap one. What did he? Oh, he hit Benjamin Peterson. Yeah. That's who it was. But yeah, I don't know if I've seen a guy do more to his damage. Well, I guess Polo's damaged his reputation quite a bit.
Nobody can top Polo right now.
No, but Ed Carpenter's reputation with the fans is pretty, firing Connor Daly and that, and just
he used to be a very big fan favorite.
Yeah, and it's just people turned on him firing Connor. But anyway, NASCAR, Ryan Preece, that was scary.
We had 2 very scary moments in that race.
Didn't Blaney have another accident earlier this year where he kind of They hit hard.
Nashville.
That's right.
They hit
Oh
the
yeah, where he hit that inside wall right
that wasn't a
outside of
safer
one.
barrier.
Yeah, and he basically said he's never had a hit that hard in his life, and then he has that hard hit in Daytona. Man, hope his head's okay. That's
I I think he's okay, but even watching him after in that interview, I thought he seemed a little off and eyes a little glazed. So I hope he's okay.
yeah, he was a little off. Yeah, you could tell. I mean, he was. I mean, it's good he got out and
But yeah, you had what Christopher Bell pushing Ty Gibbs, pushing a little off center through a
yeah,
corner.
turned him.
You can't do that. Gibbs got turned and just hooked Blaney, and very unfortunately reminiscent of the Dale Earnhardt crash.
Yeah, almost the exact same spot too.
But he hit. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, that was rough. And they had the red flag, and Brad's car was allegedly on fire. Brad Keselowski's car was on fire, and so the cars are stopped, and he's just kind of driving in circles to put the fire out. And people are like, "I didn't see a fire, I didn't see anything," and you know, numerous spotters said, "Yeah, your car's on fire, man." And you know, I think TJ Majors is a spotter who's big in the iRacing world. Said like, "Yeah, I know, man. We're trying to put it out," and he did. And people are like, "Oh, should he be penalized because it was a red flag?" It's like,
Oh, the
really,
car's on fire.
like really, the safety crew is tending down track to a bigger incident. You really want to let a car catch on fire? Like whatever. One, he's not gaining any advantage. He's probably, he's harming himself. His car's
He's
on fire.
using tires and fuel, and
I mean, tires at Daytona is
it's non-existent.
yeah, but it's like yes, he should be stopped, but it's not like he's working on his car. He's trying to put a fire out. Let's be real here.
Then crash of the night goes to Ryan Preece.
That was kind of weird because they had like the drone cam on, and you saw just basically the overhead shot of him getting turned. I don't know if he was initially caused, but who was it? It caught him. Chase Briscoe, that's who it was. It was his teammate. Turned him and just
He was
he went into
sideways on the
grass.
concrete. Then he was starting to lift as he hit the grass, but then that helped lift him.
And his car flipped at least 10 times.
I've seen 10 and 12. And he's going one way, catches the grass, and then starts going the other way.
And his spotter, his crew chief, like, talk to me, man. And like, no response. And everyone's like fearing for the worst. And
I didn't hear that. I think I stopped breathing watching that. I'm like, oh.
I was telling our group we raced with, I said, I was at my kid's birthday at a birthday party that my kids were invited to, and we were in the party room, and they're getting ready to sing happy birthday. So I'm sitting there at, they had like these two like lunch tables, basically like cafeteria lunch tables in there. And so the kids are all sitting at the one table and they're eating their pizza and they're waiting for the cake. And I'm sitting at the other table in the corner. I'm just kind of, ignoring the birthday party because I don't care. And I'm watching this. And then you see his car go flying. And I just go, oh my God, like at that volume level in the middle of the thing. And everyone kind of like turns and looks back at me like,
you all right up there?
And I'm just like, hi, how you going? Hey, how you doing? Like,
yeah, I think I saw that and I had the like, holy crap.
I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
I was just sitting there like,
and then he got out on his own. I mean, he's fine.
That's what I was watching. I'm watching like, where's the window net? Then they're showing it. Then I see him out. I'm like, oh.
When I was looking for updates later to see how he, if there was anything, because they sent him to the, they put him in an ambulance, sent him to the hospital for observation. Right decision, because it's like the human body is not designed to do things like that. And it's like the last thing you need is to him like drop dead the next day because he had like a brain bleed or something like that. And so, they took him to the hospital, and I'm watching for watching for updates. I'm not seeing anything. And I stumble across a video that had been recorded and posted like, I don't know, 10 hours before the race. And he is a new father. His
Yes.
wife just gave birth to a kid recently, and it's just like, oh my God, like that just kind of like that hit hard. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's just, I hope he's okay, because it's like he just gave an interview about becoming a father. And
Well, he is actually on the entry list for Darlington.
yeah, unbelievable. I mean, it's, you hope he's okay, and you hope, I mean, it sounds like he's physically okay, but until he gets back in that car and starts running some laps and running laps in traffic again, this is gonna be like a Ricky Bobby thing. Like, you have that nasty crash, you come out there and he's panicking, driving 30 miles an hour, and like, loses it. And it's just like, hope he can bounce back from this.
And I know I'm not the pro NASCAR driver that's been around
You,
forever,
you
like
don't
Denny
say.
Hamlin, but I actually do agree with what he talked about after the race, that the super speedways need to get rid of the grass.
Yeah, like what?
Even Charlotte, who was it? Michael McDowell? No, who went
Chris
flipping?
Buescher. It was Chris
That's it.
Buescher last year. Yeah, he hit that like divot, and his car just flipped and landed upside down.
I agree with Denny. The grass, as cool
Oh,
as it is, probably needs to go away.
it's got to go. I mean, you look at like Talladega, for example. You look at the backstretch; it's just a giant sheet of pavement. If you have a big wreck on the backstretch, what are they going to do? They're going to go like, I don't know how wide that is, but like the infield part of the backstretch of Talladega is wider than the track itself. And yeah, that grass needs to go. Sorry, Daytona
It
diehards,
looks
or
cool, but paint it up, and
can't do
if
it.
it increases safety for the drivers, do it.
I mean, and for like, the Rolex 24, that's not going to make a difference.
No, they're on a completely different part.
No grass, get it out of there.
Luckily, we got through Daytona to what
Still got
could
still
have
got
been major
one
crashes.
still got one more super speedway race on the calendar.
Talladega.
Fall race at Talladega. We got the playoffs starting. We got the Southern 500. Got a Bristol night race. You got the Roval. You got Talladega. You got finale in Phoenix. You got Homestead.
Do those crashes bring up the talk about getting rid of Daytona and Talladega again?
Yeah. It's like
It
there
comes and
was
goes
there
every
there was
5 to 10
some
years.
yeah there was some journalists like basically coming on is like, do we really need to be racing at Daytona and Talladega? Is like, is it really you know you have these packs of cars just driving in a pack for 3 hours, really fun or exciting or worth the watch? And it's like, shut up, go away.
Drivers know what they sign up for.
Yeah,
They do it because they enjoy it.
they do. Yep. On that note, I think we're actually almost at an hour on the
Yep.
dot. Um, final thoughts here.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see how the playoffs go here for NASCAR. We got 2 races left in Indy. Looks like Flo's gonna hang on here.
Probably
Closing
short
stretch of
short of
Formula
him
One.
wrecking.
Can Max just keep on winning?
Probably.
Then we're off this next week for Behind Closed Doors and Wednesday Night Dash, but then we are back. Wednesday
Week
Night Dash is
13.
at Irwindale,
Ugh.
short track in it. And then
Again,
behind,
we drank beers and we laughed as we put that on the schedule. Now we're getting towards that as our next race, and I'm just like, what in the world were we thinking?
then we got one of our 2 kind of major races for Behind Closed Doors. It's a 250-mile
Indy 250,
Indianapolis.
the Indianapolis 250.
So that should be fun. Hopefully we get it in with the time limit. We should.
Yeah, as long as we don't have too many cautions, or I lead the field degree.
That happens here in the pits.
Just give me some
Actually,
space.
we'll
Just
have
give
a
me some
caution
space.
flag anyway and get a fast repair on lap 1.
Sorry, guys. You got 99 more to go.
Watch turn 2. That's my kryptonite. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't raced on Indy. I don't think I've taken a car out on Indianapolis Oval since that.
Yeah, I got 2 weeks to get back out.
Oh yeah. I just
I
I'm
need to
not
work
I'm not
Irwindale
like
though.
I'm not like that threshold where I feel like I've plateaued and I'm just struggling to find like any more speed and I'm making mental mistakes and it's just like something's got to click like sooner during a race. Like I figured it out way too late again. And it's just like I got to figure this out early on that I can have a good second half run and so far it hasn't happened. I'm just bringing up the tail end. Sucks.
Yeah,
It is
it'll
what it is.
get there. I think just running more laps.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's a lot to it and understanding the tire wear and not overdriving the turns, especially in these ARCA cars that slide around as enough as it is. So at FR Racing Online, frracingonline.com, check out our blog post. We talk a little bit about the trading paints breach and the alternatives to trading paints. So change your passwords. Don't use passwords on multiple accounts. Be safe out there. Enjoy your Labor Day holiday if you live in the US. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
We'll see you soon. Take care.